But I'm from where I was raised was in Florence, South Carolina. It's about an hour from Myrtle Beach, about 2 hours from Charleston. So I've been to Charleston many, many, many times. We go there a
Yeah,
lot.
it's a very cool city.
Yeah, it really is. It's beautiful.
Awesome. Well, Kirby,
Okay.
do you want us to go ahead and jump in, or did you have any announcements or anything you wanted to make first before we get going?
Yeah, we can kick things off. I'm trying to make sure everyone is muted really quickly, and I'm trying to figure out how to make you the co-host. Make host. Make. Can I just make you the host? Will that give you
That's
screen
fine
sharing
too.
abilities?
Either way, you should be able to like click on even my picture, not the one with me talking, but the other one. You should be able to click on it and gives you the option to make co-host. But I mean, host is fine. I'll just have to end the meeting for you. Well, it's not a big deal either way.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just make the host because it doesn't give a co-host option. But hello, everybody. Thank you for being on. I'm Kirby, if we haven't met. Since we were talking about where you're coming from, I'm in California. So it's 5:45 my time. It is a good time, except for most people, but for me, this is like the craziest time of day. I'm like trying to hurry up and cook dinner, and like it's witching hour. I have three small children,
Yeah,
and it feels
I
really
understand.
chaotic. So usually on team calls, I'm like listening in, but today, since I am hosting, I tried to get all my ducks in a row. My husband took the kids to the park. I tried to cook dinner a little bit earlier, and even though it was like rushing last second. Um, but we made it work. And I always say, like, it is a challenging to sometimes be on calls and stuff, or, whatever. But for me, I always say that if you want to stay on fire in your business, you have to go where the fire is. So if you picture like people standing around the fire, it's warm there. Like you feel good. There's like community, everybody's talking, having conversations, and it's just like a fun place to be. But then if you step away from the fire or like you walk away, what happens? You get cold, right? And so the same thing happens like in this business. And what I love about our community is that when you are close to that fire, like it is so amazing and you're so on fire and you're so warm and like you stay connected. But as soon as you step away from that, you start to feel like you're getting cold. And so that's my encouragement. Like, I totally understand if that's you tonight, or even if you're listening to the recording because you couldn't make it. I understand that is a challenge to stay plugged into our community, but our community is incredible. Like, it's the best out there. And so, next time you think about missing a team call, be like, no, I got to go get close to the fire. So if you're on, thank you for being close to the fire. I'm so excited for our guests tonight. I don't want to talk too long because I want to hand it over to them because they have an incredible call planned for tonight. I connected with Monique on Instagram, and she is just like so sweet and so kind. We connected instantly. We did a call together, and I just felt like so seen and so heard. And she gave me so many incredible, just like nuggets of wisdom and tips. And when she offered to do it, like host a team call for our team, it was an immediate yes. I was like, absolutely. We got to chatting about, what would be a topic that would be helpful. And we were talking about, how a lot of us are in a season where there's just a lot going on. I know for me, I moved last year. I had my third baby last year. We moved across the country, and we like moved in with my parents. And so it's just been like a lot of change and transition. And so when it comes to building this business, it's like it's almost like we know what to do, and we have such information overload that we're still left wondering, how do I even do this? Or like, what do I even need to be doing? Because we feel like we're running in circles sometimes. And so I'm really excited for this topic because they're going to touch on like, if there were things that you were going to do today that were going to move the needle, that are going to move the needle in your business, like these are the things. If you have 1 hour, if you can find 1 hour, this is what you need to do. to move the needle. So I'm so excited to introduce you to Monique and Becky. If y'all want to introduce yourselves, that would be amazing. And then we can hop into the call.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We are thrilled to be here. And you guys, well, first of all, Kirby, I love that analogy of being close to the fire. It is so true, so true. And we could talk on and on about the power of, those who show up will go up, and learners are earners, and I just want to applaud all of you for investing in yourself and in your business. And it is so hard, this, in general, right, as working moms, to juggle all the things. And even if you're not a working mom, but you are just busy, right? Life is busy. I think in this, I guess, the time period that we're in now, it seems like busy is almost can become this badge of honor. It seems like, not even intentionally, but we've got sports activities, and some of you are working a full-time job, or you have small children, or just like Kirby said, maybe you're in a transition period where you're moving or having a baby. But regardless, our goal is to help you know exactly, right? All of the above, she says, exactly what you should be focused on, right? Because we can be so busy working on our business, but are we busy doing the right things? And so hopefully at the end of the call, you will have a clear strategy on how to show up every single day, even if all you have is 1 hour. So for those of you that this is the first time connecting with us, first of all, we're so excited to be here. Monique and I have been business partners now for a little over a year, and we absolutely love this industry, but it has drastically changed both of our lives. And so we believe, though, that there is a way you can build differently and still have incredible success. And so we help network marketers have the confidence, the tools, and systems to build the business of their dreams. So just real quickly, a little bit about me. I have been married for almost 15 years this summer. I have 2 girls, 10. Sarah is 10. Evelyn is 4, about to be 5. I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I have been an entrepreneur for over 12 years. 7.5 of those were spent with Pampered Chef, and I was leading an $8 million a year team. I was at the top of the company, but I recognized that my passion was really in coaching and mentoring and teaching people how to leverage the compensation plan. I had almost 9, I think I had 88 leaders on my team when around the time I resigned. And many people have been like, what in the world? Why would you walk away from that? But honestly, it's because this is what I love to do. I had spoke on stage. I can't tell you how many times I was flown to there. No, Caroline. Okay. I'm in Puckett Station. Who knows? Are you in Puckett Station in Murfreesboro?
I live across the street from Blackman High School. So I'm like literally right down the street from you.
Girl. All right. We're going to coffee.
That's crazy. Like 2 minutes away, y'all. Seriously.
Oh my goodness.
That is really crazy. Okay, we're gonna be new best friends. But anyway, side note. So I launched a podcast, Socially Selling with Becky Baxter. So if you do not already follow me or haven't checked it out, please go check it out. And then Monique and I, of course, we partnered and created a coaching program to support network marketers, direct sellers, and just really learn how to leverage the compensation plan, find and attract business builders, because it's one thing to have warm bodies on your team. It's another to have people who are passionate about the, opportunity, right, that we all want everyone to leverage. So yeah, that's just a bit about me, but that is so crazy, Caroline. Okay, we're going to have to connect.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so if this is your first time hearing me on a training, my name is Monique Scrip, and I am a wife and mom of 3 boys. And so my husband and I have been married for 12 years, and we actually were foster parents and ended up adopting a sibling group of 3 boys. So we have 3 teenagers that came into our life in 2015. And so we went from 0 to 3 kids. And at the time I was working in sales. I had been working in the insurance industry, and I absolutely loved what I did. But I just kept thinking like, oh, life, nothing will change, right? And I realized very quickly that when you go from 0 to 3 kids, it drastically changes your life. And so I was looking for a way to have flexibility. And so I started coaching with Beachbody and ended up loving that and being able to transition. Oh, Kelsey, I love that. But I was able to transition into being home. And from there, very quickly transitioned into full-time coaching. And that's really where my passion is, in leading people, in helping people with sales. That's what I did in my corporate job. And so I developed a coaching program specifically for network marketers. And so I have been doing that for several years now. And then Becky and I saw what she was doing, and I said, would you be interested in partnering? So we came together, like she said, a year ago, and she just has had some phenomenal success with Pampered Chef. And I was looking for a partner to come and do this together. And so together, we are very passionate about helping moms to, oh, we will share our Instagram. Yeah, one second. Specifically helping moms. And we know that not everybody is in that same position, but both of us saw the value in the direct sales network marketing space because we were moms and we were looking for that flexibility. And so a lot of times it's that, that push and pull of, okay, well, when do you work and when are you with your family and what are those boundaries? And so that's really where we have a heart for helping that specific mom. That's like, okay, I'm driven, I'm ambitious, I'm a go-getter, but I also want to be that present mom. And how can you be both? And so we really prioritize that. I've worked with some of the top people actually in within Beachbody. I've coached a lot of elite coaches, and I know it's now Body. It's weird for me to like get used to saying that because I feel like I've been saying Beachbody Body. And I also have a podcast called the Legacy Leader Podcast. So make sure that you check out both Becky and my podcast. Just a great resource for additional personal development. So our Instagram, you can find us at Scrip and Baxter. And we have, if you go on there, you'll see our individual ones. But if you're on your computer, you can just go ahead and follow us there so you don't forget. But that's our Instagram handle. We also have a free community called the Scrip and Baxter Community for Network Marketers. You guys, this is like you need to join this yesterday because we have some of the most amazing people that come in and speak to our community. We have, I don't know if you know, but Sarah Zalecki, she's with Modere, one of like the top people in direct sales. Yes, we have a lot of free trainings we offer. So make sure that you join us in that community. It's just a fun place to have other people who are in the same space, who have the same goals and ambitions as you do. Okay, so you guys are like, all right, let's get to the meat of what we want to talk about. So before we get started, we want to give you some ground rules, some things to consider as we're going to give you this training, because we're going to teach you how to build your business in 1 hour a day. So no matter how crazy your life is, no matter how chaotic, we get it. We're moms, we get it. But what we want you to know is the first thing is you have to treat your business like you are a CEO. This doesn't mean you have to work super long hours, but this does mean that you have to have the mindset of a CEO. You have to have the identity of a CEO. Because if you tell yourself like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I do this on the side, or I do it when I have time, then you're going to operate that way in your business. And so you have to start looking at yourself from an identity level and saying, I am the CEO of a business, because you're going to operate and make decisions that way. Our vision is to help you have a thriving team. So one of the aspects that we teach is we really teach you the team building side of your business, because if you're wanting to grow in a substantial way, that's really one of the smartest ways that you can leverage your compensation plan. So it might challenge you to let go of excuses and to increase your efforts. Also, we want you to think about what is worth sacrificing and what is sacred. This is something that's really important, because as you are stepping into your business, because you are the CEO, you have to look at things that are worth sacrificing. And that might be Netflix, that might be mindlessly scrolling, that might be, whatever it is that you're like, okay, I have to just give this up in this season if I'm looking to build this way. And then on the other end, there are things that are sacred. So if picking your kids up from school is sacred, or if, your evenings are sacred, or whatever it is for you, You have to decide, this is what I'm not willing to sacrifice. And then you build your business around that. And a lot of times that's your family. And it's having those conversations with your spouse. It's having those conversations with your kids, being clear in your boundaries and not breaking the things that you say are sacred. We may ask you to try things that are uncomfortable, but that's what CEOs do. I loved Kirby's analogy about the fire. I was like, yes, when you said, go where the fire is. And sometimes when you're going where the fire is, like, it's uncomfortable. Sometimes when you're in rooms with other people who are calling you higher, it's uncomfortable. But that is what CEOs do. And then be willing to take massive action. So the things that we're sharing with you today, it would be a total waste of our time if we gave you this great content. It's going to be great, but this great content and you did nothing with it. So make sure that you think about, how can I implement these things in my life? Even if you have one thing that you take away, make a decision to implement it. Okay. Are you guys ready? Drop it in the chat. If you're like, are y'all Office fans? If you're ready, drop it in the chat. Let's do this. If you're ready to learn how to build your business in 60 minutes a day. Okay, so I'm curious if you, oh, I love it. I love all the energy. What do you think, if you guys want to put in the chat, what do you think someone's day looks like who runs a successful business with your company? Okay, so let's just say like elite coaches. If you look at elite coaches, if you look at top 10 coaches, what do you think that they are doing in their business? I'm gonna give you guys a second to answer. Reaching out, yes. Delegating, oh, that's a good one. They don't do everything. Running around like a chicken with their head cut off. I hope not. I mean, maybe, but that's not the kind of business you want, right? The point is to not have that kind of business. Because yes, there are some top leaders who do it in a way that exhausts them. And that's a story for another time. Becky could tell you a story for another time. Okay, so we're going to give you two things. That business tracker, yes, and you guys have that built in with Beachbody. You already have the business activity tracker that you can follow that tells you, the actions of what you need to be doing in your business. So there are two things that we've observed, that those who are the high income earners, they really have two things. One is their daily consistent actions, okay? What they are doing every single day compounds. It matters. And so when you feel like, oh, if I just don't send this, these 3 invites today, I'll just do it tomorrow or whatever it is, your consistency matters, okay? Your daily consistent actions. And then the second one is the person who they become. So we said a second ago about your identity, and those who are leveled up leaders, not only are they doing the actions, but they are actually a different person than who they were when they first started. How many of you feel like right now you are a different person than who you were when you first started? The level of personal development you listen to, the people you surround yourself with, you're not worrying about what other people think about you anymore. What are those parts where you've changed because you've become a different person? And so for some of you, yes, you need to do consistent actions, but for others of you, you need to ask, who do I need to become? Because if you are wanting to grow, that is what you need to look at. So specifically what you'll learn today is the 60-minute non-negotiable tasks and the characteristics of top income earners. Successful people are simply those with successful habits. Okay, so if you are taking notes, go ahead and get out a pen and paper, because we're going to give you how to build your business in an hour a day, and we're going to break this down into 4 15-minute increments. So think about your day. Don't worry about the person next to you. Don't worry about your upline, your downline. Think about you and your specific day, how you run your day, how you want to run your day, because you are the CEO of your business. And you can either do this all within 1 hour. If you just want to block off an hour, you can do this all within 1 hour, or you can do 2 30-minute chunks of time, or you can do 4 15-minute increments. Okay. So the very first one, the first 15-minute increment is relationship building in the DMs, email, text, or in person. So basically relationship building. So 15 minutes of your day should be building relationships. You are in the relationship business. Okay. You are in the business. Somebody put connections earlier. You're in the business of connecting with people. You are not in the business of sending spammy messages to strangers that you haven't talked to. You're in the business of connecting. And so let's say, for example, like one of the things we teach in our coaching program before you build a team is to identify your ideal business builders. We teach people how to identify the qualities that they want in their team. So let's say you had specific qualities of, you want somebody ambitious, you want a go-getter, you want somebody who's a person of integrity, maybe a person of faith, like whatever it is that's important to you. And let's say you think of the people who have those qualities. Well, build a relationship with them, connect with them, get to know them. Because if you see someone, you're like, man, they would be amazing on my team. You have to have a relationship with that person, okay? The next one is posting on social media and engaging. So we are in 2023, you guys. Jump on the social media bandwagon, okay? And what I mean by that is you might be thinking like, oh, I'll show up a few times a week. What if you showed up a few times a day? What if you showed up consistently? This is free advertising. When I was in high school, I was on the newspaper staff committee, whatever it's called. I don't know if y'all had that at your school. And part of our job would be we had to sell a certain number of ads. And I remember like going to businesses and trying to get them to buy an ad in our newspaper. And I think about today in 2023, people have free advertising. You have free advertising and you're not even using it. The things that people used to have to pay for advertising, you have it for free. And so if you're not showing up on social media consistently, if you're not showing up daily or at least 5 days a week, pretty consistently, you're missing out on an opportunity to be in front of people. You have to see social media as your storefront. So if you remember back in the day when, I feel like a lot of us are probably around the same age range, but back in the day, like the mall was like the hangout spot, right? And you'd go to the mall and, just imagine that your business is like a brick and mortar store. And if somebody is walking through the mall and they're window shopping, they want to know, like, what are the items in the display window? What's the company? What kind of business is this? And so if somebody comes to your page, first of all, do they know it's a place where you can get fit and healthy? Do they know it's a place where if they're looking for a way to make extra income that they can connect with you? Do they know that you have an opportunity? And if not, ask yourself, how can I be more consistent and more present on my social media? And then engage with those who connect with you. So if they like your post, connect with them. If they comment back, engage with them. Okay, the third one is developing leaders. So 15 minutes of your day should be having conversations with people on your team and helping them to grow in their business. So one of the critical conversations you need to have as you onboard, and we teach a whole thing on onboarding, but as you onboard is asking people what their goals are. Having those kinds of conversations with your team where you ask them outside of Beachbody, asking them, what is the vision for your life? Where do you see yourself going? And when you have those kinds of conversations, then you can talk to them about, hey, if you hit, 5-star, it'll give you this income. If you do this, like it will help them have clarity on the exact path that they need to take. And so 15 minutes of your day, that might look like having a thread where you put your leaders in a thread and everybody's working towards a challenge or something like that. Or some of you might be sitting here and you're like, well, I don't really have a team. And if that's you, 15 minutes of your day needs to be finding your dream team, finding the people who want to build with you. And then the last 15 minutes is following up and closing. And so a lot of times it can be very easy to start conversations or to maybe have a list of people that were like, oh, I need to connect with this person, or, oh, I forgot about this person. But do you have a system for following up and closing? Because if not, you're oftentimes leaving a lot of conversations open where you can be the one to help close and help steer how that conversation goes. Do not take it personally if people do not respond to you. I remember one time I did a sales training, or I was part of a sales training when I was in my corporate job. And one of the things they taught us is it takes 7 reach outs before somebody says yes. And so oftentimes you will reach out to someone once, and if the person doesn't respond, it's like, oh, well, they didn't respond or they ghosted me or whatever. Or maybe twice, or maybe 3 times. But what if every single person you reached out 7 times? Basically, until they told you no, you connected with them. You built a relationship with them. You kept being in their life. You kept you know, maybe they said, hey, this isn't a good time, but you added them to a list where 6 months later you followed up and you reached out. So have a way of following up and closing.
Okay, so here's something I want you guys to think about now. Some of you might have been looking at that list and you might be thinking, well, I'm doing all of these things. Or you might be thinking, okay, you know, I feel like I can make time for that. But at the end of the day, okay, you can't just ask, what should I do to reach my goals in life? But really, the question you should be asking is, who do I need to become in order to have that life? And so we're going to talk through some characteristics of top income earners, because I believe all of you are, you know, you're trying to consistently show up. Hopefully now you're like, okay, I know the main things, right? Every single day, no matter what, I'm going to show up and do those 4 things, right? You're all going to commit to it, right? You're all going to leave this call and say, okay, I'm going to show up and do those things every single day. But in the process, there are some things that you've got to be thinking about if you really truly want to leverage the compensation plan to the fullest. Okay. So let's jump in. So top income earners, they master their mindset and they know where they are headed. So I want you to imagine that you are waiting at a bus stop. Okay. And you are like, I need to get on this bus and go to work or go wherever, right? Go to this fun, awesome party. And the bus driver pulls up and opens the door and you're like, hey, where's this bus headed? And the bus driver is like, I don't know. I'm just going to, you know, drive around, see what happens. You're probably not going to get on that bus because you're like, no, I'm good. I'll wait for the next bus, right? You're going to wait for a bus driver who knows where they're headed. That is what a true top, not just a top income earner, but like an inspirational leader in this industry has the mindset of, they're vision driven. They know where they're going, right? And people are drawn to that. Like attracts like people who are vision oriented and they have this master over their mindset. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when, right? We don't know when we're going to arrive, but they're just determined. They're like, it doesn't matter what happens in life, right? That leads me to the second thing. They don't allow roadblocks to keep them stuck. So the most successful people, and probably you guys could even think of somebody at some point in your career or in life, or just maybe someone that you admire or that you know, whether you go to church with them or it's a neighbor or someone on your team or a leader above you or sideline, wherever, right? You can probably think of someone who you're like, man, they have been through it, right? Like they have been through so many trials, and maybe that's even you. Maybe some of you on here are even silently suffering. Like people have no idea, right? Like what's going on in your life. But the difference in successful people is it's not, you know, and those who don't truly find success is it's like they're going to continually fail over and over and over, but it's just the fact that they keep getting up, right? That's like that Michael Jordan quote. He talks about how, you know, the amount of shots that he missed, right? Like the amount of times he was trusted to do the game, like the end of the game shot, and the amount of them that he missed is just insane. But the fact is, he didn't just give up. He kept going. He was like, I'm going to continually show up, because it's not a matter of that one mistake doesn't determine his success, right? So you have to have this determination that you're going to continue to show up no matter what. Top income earners, you guys, also are a master at storytelling, and they know their audience. And what I mean by that is you can take this a variety of ways, whether it's like social media or whether it's just that connection piece. In general, if you think about anyone who you follow online that you really enjoy consuming their content, or maybe even for those of you that sorry, I'm going to mute someone real quick here that had some background noise. Even if you think about someone that you joined, like maybe you signed, whoever you signed up with, right? Like what is it about them that you were drawn to? right? Like, were they sharing their story? Were they making people feel like they were relatable? Like, that's why it's kind of like that before and after picture is so powerful, because people can see themselves in the before picture, right? And so you have to learn, like, who is it that you really truly want, the lives of someone that you're trying to change, right? Like, what is it that they're interested in hearing about, about your life, about things that you've overcome? But then what is it that you are trying to share and really like get across the point essentially to your audience? And then the fourth thing, they're wise with their time and their IPAs, income producing activities. And we literally just gave you like a formula, right, for how to consistently show up every single day. But I think what's interesting to me is that I think the majority of you probably already knew those four things, right? But maybe you're struggling to be a master of your time, and instead your time is like mastering you, right? And so for some of you, it might mean you need to wake up a little bit early before the crazy kiddos and all the chaos of motherhood, right? That's really hard to do. I am not a morning person, but I will get up, right, when I know that I need to get some things done and be productive. Okay. So just make sure that you are really intentional about your time, whether that is your time blocking, you're using a digital calendar, you have alarms. I had a friend, another national and pampered chef, and I think she had 5 kids, and she literally had alarms going off all day long because, she had most of her kids were still home. She, didn't have like a nanny or anything. It was just a matter of, she was really productive and had reminders so that she wouldn't drop the ball and was making sure to consistently show up. All right. The fifth thing, and you can probably, again, think of someone that you admire who is incredibly successful, and you would characterize them as being servant-hearted in their leadership, right? That's that whole, literally, if you listen to anyone who is an expert on, leadership, like John Maxwell and like that Zig Ziglar quote, if you help enough other people get what they want, you will get what you want. And I can tell you my own personal journey and attest to this. I can't tell you how many times over is that when you set aside your own, title, set aside your own paycheck, set aside your own, time constraints or whatever. I'm not saying to be a doormat. But what I'm saying is when you come from a place of service, people will see through someone who is not. They will see through, and you will literally burn through all the relationships. You will burn through all the community. It'll create like a cancer and a toxic community if there is not someone at the head who is focused on helping others. We literally, in this industry, you literally get compensated by helping someone else have success, right? I don't know about you, but that is so incredible. Like, what an opportunity. And so if you help other people and you're focused on service, the sales will follow, the promotions will follow. I'm telling you, you've got to focus on service. Number 6, a top income earner knows their vision-driven goals. And so this kind of like talks about when you're mastering your mindset, you know where you're headed, but you are very strategic. Okay. A top income earner says, okay, based on, right, where it is that I want to go, I'm going to set goals. I'm going to set, mile markers in a sense, right? So for some people, that's an income. For some people, that's a rank. For others, it might not have anything to do with that. And it might be more about, goodness, you could have some kind of nonprofit that you're working to start. It could be that you're trying to put your kids in private school. It could be that you're trying to, fund an adoption. It could be a meal. Goodness, there's so many things that can fall into this category of vision-driven goals. But the difference is, right, that the top income earner aligns their actions with where they want to go. You can't say, I want to be a millionaire and show up with a minimum wage work ethic. You just can't. And so if you, just like Kirby said, like this time is not easy, right? I'm right there with you, girlfriend. That witching hour, like it is a thing. It is a thing, okay, y'all. And so you all know if you got small children, it is like hide, fight, it's like fight or flight, survival of the fittest. But at the end of the day, she's like, she recognizes, right? You got to be close to that fire. You've got to have that community. And so while we have these priorities and these things that are sacred to us, that, yeah, we don't want to sacrifice those. But if we're intentional with our time, right, and we're consistently showing up, and we keep that vision of where we want to go and, and where we're headed, we're going to show up every day as if it has happened. And number 7, they have daily habits to support their income goals, right? So I literally just said, like, we're going to show up as if. You guys, I shared this with our clients just recently the other day because it was so powerful in my own life. And many of you guys probably remember those journals of, it was Rachel Hollis journal. Oh my gosh, it was like a gratitude journal. Oh my, Start Today journal. Okay, so I literally did this Start Today journal, you guys, like every single day for probably 2 years. Okay. And in my journal at the time when I started it, I was an executive director. And so in Pampered Chef, it's like executive director, senior executive, and national. Okay. So I had 2 promotions to get through. And in Pampered Chef, you have to hit qualifications 3 months in a row. Everyone has to be paid at title 3 months in a row before you actually get that, achieve that rank. So I had to do this, like it was a big thing. Okay. So in my journal, I'm saying all this to say, I wrote every single day. Okay. I did the gratitude portion, and every day I wrote, I am a national executive director. And 2 years later, after starting to write this every single day, I was able to cross it off. I had achieved that goal. And I'm saying that to say that I knew where I was headed. I wrote it down every single day. I kept it in front of me, and I acted as if I was that person. Now, I'm not saying that, things are just magically going to align and everything will just perfectly, manifest or whatever. That's not what I mean. Okay. What I mean, though, is that what you focus on is what you become, period. Right? If you tell yourself all day long, like, I can't lose this weight. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm so terrible at eating junk food at night. And like, oh, this is so awful. I'm like, oh, just my kids are insane and I'm so stressed. Blah, blah. Okay. That is literally, you're just like literally manifesting like your reality. You're just, that's what you will be. That is what you'll be. That's why the people who, they grow up in these horrible environments, and it's just like the trauma that they carry throughout their life is so real. Stop doing that to yourself. Stop. Just stop. Okay. Instead, we're going to start acting as if. We're going to start putting habits in place to become the person, right, that we really truly want to be. And then finally, they see their business as the platform to leave a legacy. I think this is something, I literally have chills right now. I'm like, the Holy Spirit is like coming into my body. I believe with all of my heart, I believe that you guys have something that you don't even know that you have. You don't even know the ability that you have with your business. And what I mean by that is, when people think about this industry, so much of it is I need, and this is like a real talk, right? Like, I need the money, I got to pay my bills. Like, that's real. Okay. We all need to pay our bills. We got to get the electricity on. We got to buy groceries, which that's another thing, right? They're ridiculously expensive. We need all of these things. But the problem is, right, we also all have a cap, a financial lid that we are working towards. And some of us, our company even puts that for us, right? For some of us, it's like, oh, your minimum of getting paid at title or hitting this rank or whatever qualifications. I don't know anything about body. I really don't. But my point is, right, there's always some kind of like this much in PV and OV and what a success club. Okay, whatever. So there's always this minimum, right? And some of you, that's what you're working towards. That's what you're hitting. That's what you're focused on, right? While that's great and fun, and we love the titles and the carrots and all these things to chase, when we're given a minimum, it's very often the level at which we achieve. And unfortunately, you guys are not even tapping into the ability and the abundance that you can truly have. And what I mean by that is, instead of focusing on Success Club or instead of focusing on top 10, maybe start thinking, if I could do anything in life, what would it look like, right? If I could truly change the world, what would that look like, right? I mean, would you, help women? Would you launch a, I don't know, a battered women's shelter? Would you, help fund adoptions? Would you start, a fund to help homeless in your community? I mean, like literally thinking beyond your own circumstances, because here's what's going to happen. When you start focusing on that, number one, when you hit the goal, you're not just going to sit around and be like, well, that was cool. What do I do now? No, instead, it's not a matter of about me and a title and a this and that. All of those things are going to happen, you guys. That's what's so cool about it. All of those things will come to pass. You'll earn the trips, you'll get the title, you'll help, your paycheck will soar. But in the process, right, to changing lives and leaving this legacy, whether it's generational wealth or whatever it is, you guys, you're going to impact and plant seeds of which trees will grow. You will never even see the fruit, right? That's the kind of legacy I want to leave. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm like, I want to be the kind of person that they're like, yeah, my friend's grandma or whatever, right? Like, she's out there changing the world. Okay. Like, that's what I want. So don't limit yourself by achieving Success Club. Not that I'm saying that that's not phenomenal and amazing or whatever it means for you guys, but I want instead for you to challenge your thinking and say, what if, right? What if? Because you really, truly don't know. There's a story of a man, and this is just insane to me, who my preacher talked about him, of this older gentleman. He had no family. He had no kids, no close to kin. So he was where he worked in a factory for his whole life. Okay. And basically he realized, he had saved up all this income and money, and he wanted to give back. And so he meets with this attorney, and he tells the attorney, I've been, saving my money, and I recognize that now that I'm at the age of retirement, I would like to give back. I was never able to go to college, and I always wish that I could, but I just grew up in a time when it wasn't a priority. And so I would like to give my money, right, to help pay for people, for students who really want to go to college, but they can't afford it. And so the attorney was like, yeah, sure. That's, I would love to do that. Like, is it like enough for like 1 or 2 people, or do you want to have like a small scholarship fund? And he was like, it's $3 million. And the attorney was literally like, what? Like, about fell over in his chair, because here this man, right, who was working in a factory job, like not making, this is based on a true story. I can't remember his name, but I'd have to look it up. But it's like someone that you would have no idea has that amount of wealth. And instead of focusing on like having all these lavish things or this fancy cars or this, that, instead he's like, how can I leave a legacy? Right. And since then, I think like 22 people have been able to go to college fully paid because of this man who they never met. Right. They never, they've never met this man. And so I just want to challenge you to ask yourself, how would it feel if that's how someone described you? Right. Like, what if they said about you, Kirby is a master at mindset and she knows where she's headed. Right. Caroline does not allow roadblocks to keep her stuck. Loretta, she is a master storyteller and knows her audience. Megan is really wise with her time and her IPAs. Angelina is servant-hearted in her leadership. Anna is vision-driven and she knows where she's headed. Aria has daily habits to support her goals. And Ashley sees her business as a platform to leave a legacy.
Oh man, that was so good, Becky. So many nuggets that you dropped there. So thank you for sharing. So we are wrapping up, but we did want to just give you a little bit of information, because a lot of times when we share, people will ask, how can we work with you? Or if you're looking for additional support, you might feel like this person here who's looking at the upside down roadmap and you're like, okay, this all sounds great. I know how to, what I need to be doing an hour a day, but like, how do I have an actual roadmap? Like, what is the plan? How do I have a strategy? And another piece of that is, how do you have accountability? Because you can know what you need to do, but another piece of that is having that accountability where someone is holding you accountable, or people are holding you accountable with the very goals that you say you want. So we designed a program called Multiply 2.0, and we created something called the Multiply Method. And it's literally everything that we shared with you today. The mindset and vision. We have something called the Sharp 5 roadblocks, which are the top 5 things that keep you stuck in business. Learning to tell your story in your niche, mastering your time, servant leadership, vision-driven goal setting, daily habits, and then legacy and onboarding. And so if any of you are curious about that, on average, when people go through our coaching program, they get lifetime access, but within the first 12 weeks, we walk through 12 modules in coaching with them. But within the first 12 weeks, on average, people add 8 builders to their team. They also add an additional $1,200 in sales. They finally have the fear of inviting. They overcome, because we teach you a strategy of how to invite authentically, how to find your ideal business builders, finally letting go of what other people think about you, having that mentorship and support. Like I said, the accountability piece is a huge part of it. And then lifetime access to coaching. So whenever someone comes into our Multiply program, they join us, and then you have lifetime access. We meet twice a week to coach you. So here is somebody who went through our coaching program. Oh, sorry, jumped ahead here. Okay, so in our Multiply program, you get 12 modules designed to help you get your first 8 business builders within the first 12 weeks. So we give you access to something called Kajabi, where you have all of the video trainings, you watch the videos, and then we come together every Tuesday and Thursday. And so it's optional, like you don't have to be on the calls, but that's the time that we set aside to coach you, to mentor you, to unpack whatever it is. Like last week's topic was time management, our Tuesday topic. And then on Thursdays, we go through the different modules. So you have group coaching, lifetime access to the course. We have an exclusive Facebook group just for those who are in the Multiply program. 12 weeks of social media captions. This alone is huge, because a lot of people will say, like, this is one of their favorite things about our program is we have captions. We provide captions of exactly what to post, and you don't have to use them, but it just gives you one extra resource to be able to have if you're like, what do I post on social media, or you're struggling to be consistent. And they're very engaging. Like a lot of our clients will say, like, oh man, people have responded to my captions. And then you get Canva templates on top of that. Accountability, and then 6- and 7-figure expert guest speakers. So when I told you we have that comes into our Scrip and Baxter community, we actually keep those recordings for our Multiply clients. So we have some of the top people in various companies who have come into our community over the course of the last year. And this year, we won't even tell you what's going on this year. We have some big people who are coming this year. We can't fully disclose. You'll know in June. Actually, you'll know in a couple weeks. But anyway, some of the top people in direct sales that we have come and share, and you get access to their training. And so there's 2 ways that people can get started in Multiply. There's one paid in full for $19.97, and then the other option is 12 monthly installments of $187. So you could literally sell, like, say, okay, this is how many people I'm going to add each month and cover that monthly installment. Or if you want to do the paid in full is actually a better investment as far as the savings, overall savings. But either way, will allow you to kind of meet wherever you are in your business. But the biggest thing is really, if you are in a place where you're like, okay, I'm ready. Like I've been in the same place for several months or several years. I need accountability. I need a roadmap. I need a strategy. I truly believe that our coaching program is the best coaching program out there in terms of getting people results. We are very heavy on focused on the results. There's a lot of coaches out there who have great programs, excellent programs, but they don't have the ability to be as hands-on as we are. And because we are very focused on, like, we literally have a tracker of our clients, and we can see, like, how many invites did you do this week? We're checking in with you. We're seeing how many videos you're watching. And so, we choose to do that because we really want you to come into our program and get results. We don't want to just have, all these people in our coaching program and nobody's seeing changes in your business. And so if you are in a position where specifically when it comes to recruiting, you're struggling to recruit the right people, maybe you feel like you get people on your team and then they fall off, or you're not finding your right people, that is who this is for. And so Becky and I wanted to offer something special to you guys today. And so we wanted to give you, for anybody who joins today, so it's either $19.97 or 12 installments of $187. But when you join, if you join today, we're also going to gift you something called Social Media Immersion Day. It was a training that we had done all about social media, all about everything you need to know about social media. It was a 1-day immersion that we did, and it is a $1,500 value. Okay, it's a huge value that we wanted to offer, that if anyone was like, you know what, I'm ready, I'd love to have that mentorship. If you enroll today, you also get this as well. Okay, so this is Nicole. Nicole went through our program. She said, Becky and Monique helped me to grow, not just in my business, but with my self-confidence. They helped me see where I needed to grow and how to get there. When I look back on all the things that have helped shape my business, it will all start with Multiply 2.0. It's hands down the best way to grow yourself and your business. And then Tammy said, I'm so grateful to have worked with both Becky and Monique. They are truly seasoned leaders with years of experience that together create a dynamic duo. In the time frame I was working with them, I achieved a top rank in our company, which included the biggest paycheck to date. And I have been in this channel for 7 years. They are encouraging, but also hold you to your goals and offer very practical steps on how to grow a successful business and team. This program is extremely well organized and executed. I would highly recommend it to anyone wanting tools and a better mindset to grow a successful network marketing business. Okay, so thank you guys for taking the time to be on. Are there any specific questions that you have about how to build in an hour a day, or about coaching, or anything else? I love that it's such a full house.
Y'all are quiet.
Okay, what takeaways as far as what are you going to implement? Like moving forward, what is one thing that you're like, okay, I am going to start doing blank?
I know one thing that is my takeaway that I want to get better at is like storytelling and really knowing like who exactly I'm speaking to.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of power in that attraction marketing concept. And, obviously you have to do more than just that, but I love that takeaway, because it's like when you are a master at storytelling, people want to be a part of the story. They want to join you. They want to be woven in.
Yes.
See.
And Kirby, you actually do, I follow your Instagram and you do a great job with your niche. I feel like you do so for those of you who follow Kirby, I think you do an excellent job of really getting clear on the person that you're speaking to and the problem that you're solving, which is huge because it allows you to kind of set yourself apart, from other people. Okay. Loretta says trying, okay, I don't want to mispronounce Nasoni, have the mindset of a CEO and writing my goal every day. I think that's excellent. Courtney said, look at who I want to be and where I want to go daily. Yes, just having that in front of you. Aria says, I'm going to start being consistent and be wise with my time. Yes, Kirby does crush her niche. Your niche is so good. You just add your story in there. Let people know more about your journey. Okay, well, thank you guys for being on. We really appreciate your time, and we hope that that you truly will implement the things that we are talking about, because there's so much opportunity with network marketing.
Yes, so much. Thank you guys so much for having us. And Kirby, thank you again. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Awesome. And yes, Caroline, we need to connect apparently.
Yes, we do.
You're like right there. So
So
funny.
one thing we do, I don't know if Kirby was about to do this. Were you about to pray over them, Kirby?
Yes, I
Okay.
yeah, I didn't know if Becky was gonna end the call, so I was like, no, don't go. One thing we love to do as a team is just to pray over our guest speaker. So is that okay if we do that before we
I
hop
will
off?
always take prayers. I'm like, yes, please, come on now. Yes,
Okay.
I love that.
Is there anything specific?
I would say for Monique and I to know where we need to go to create the impact that we desire. Like to know what we need to do to really create the level of impact. Maybe, I don't know, Monique, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I feel like we struggle with the same things that y'all struggle with as far as that home life, being a present parent and then also being ambitious and driven and just always wanting to, we're both believers and we're very open about that in our coaching and so I think just wanting to be that influence with our families, but then also knowing that God has called us into this space and we have people who, like last year, a girl got baptized at our retreat and just people, our clients who are being impacted and we know that this is where God has called us. So I guess just backing up what she said about the impact.
That's so amazing. I love to hear that. I think, part of our mission as a team is just to be a light in our industry and, within even the body network, in health and fitness, all of that. And so I see y'all doing that too, like in your industry and with your clients. So just praise the Lord for that. Okay, well, let's pray and so we can go ahead and end. God, thank you so much for a new week. Thank you for a new month on the same day as a new week. I thank you, God, for just the chance to come together as a team. And I praise you for Becky and Monique for taking their precious time, like we just talked about, away from their families to invest in us, pour into us, and give us so many just nuggets of wisdom, God. I pray over them, God. I praise you for them. I thank you for what you're doing, how you're at work in and through them. I thank you, God, for the tools that they provide with their coaching program and their mentorship, God, to women and moms in this industry and in this space. And I just pray, God, that you give them wisdom for how to spend their time. And I pray that you would continue to give them really clear and big vision for where you would have them take their business. I pray for their families, God, that you would bless them and keep them and make your face shine on them and be gracious to them, God. I pray that you would bless them and keep them and give them peace that passes understanding. God, I pray that when when others see them, they see you. I just thank you so much again for this community and just for what you're doing and how you're at work, even when we can't see it and when we can see it, God. You are good. What you do is good. And we just give you all the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank
Oh,
you all for
thank
being
Thank you
here.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
We haven't had anyone do that, so we appreciate it. Very kind. Thank you again.
Thank
Have a
y'all.
great
See you,
night.
girls. Have a good week.
All right, bye.